Ben Saul is UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights and Counterterrorism and joins me from The Hague. Mr Saul, good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. I'm referring also to a press release that was released by your good selves and with your name on it of Israel and Lebanon. UN experts deplore extraterritorial use of lethal drones to conduct killings in counterterrorism. Using that document, could I start by asking that your experts say, and I quote, that Israel has neither provided any legal justification for the strike nor reported it to the Security Council as required by Article 51 of the United Nations Charter. We're talking about the attack on individuals in Lebanon. Who censures Israel for this now?
So we're talking here about the strike on a senior Hamas leader last week. And of course, Hamas's original attack on Israel on October 7 came from the territory of Gaza. It did not come from Lebanon. And by escalating the conflict to the territory of Lebanon, by striking Hamas leaders there, Israel is clearly in violation of international law. It's a breach of Lebanon's sovereignty. It's a violation of the prohibition on the use of force under the United Nations Charter, and Israel hasn't presented any evidence that Hamas was attacking Israel from Lebanon itself. So this is of concern. It should be of concern to the United Nations Security Council, and all states should counsel Israel not to continue to escalate this conflict.
One of the problems that we've seen is the many narratives that are coming out of Israel when it comes to their attack on individuals and groups they see as a threat. It is a dangerous precedent, isn't it, to say that we can attack you wherever you are in the world without giving any proof and without any mandate via the UN or any other official body. It's a dangerous Pandora's box to open.
Absolutely. It violates the sovereignty of any country where Israel uses force against suspected terrorists. It's not a new phenomenon. I mean, of course, Israel has been assassinating its perceived enemies for many, many decades. I mean, if you go back to the Munich Olympics attack in 1972, in successive years, Israel hunted down and murdered those responsible, it thought, for those attacks. In the process, of course, killing some innocent people. Current Israeli leaders, including the Prime Minister and the Defence Minister, have threatened that they will hunt down and murder Hamas operatives wherever they are across the world. This is incredibly dangerous. It's a breach of international law. It's a breach of human rights. It's a violation of the rights of other countries. And it doesn't solve the security threat to Israel.
By not respecting international law, as you say, and not being pushed to do so by the US, who could ask Israel to stop all of this, both the US and Israel may well sort of rue the day when they start lecturing other nations to mind their own business as such. And is there a real concern here that countries such as Russia and China, Myanmar, North Korea can quite easily turn round to the United States and say, we'll do what we want and we'll go after who we want. It's none of your business?
Well, sadly, some other countries have been engaging in precisely this practice. I mean, the US was, of course, involved in the war on terror in many violations of international law. Russia has been murdering dissidents in countries like the United Kingdom. Saudi Arabia, of course, murdered infamously a journalist in the consulate in Turkey some years ago. So, unfortunately, there are some seriously law-breaking countries, and this kind of practice, if it meets with impunity, if powerful states like the United States or international organisations like the Security Council do nothing about it, then it encourages these practices to continue. The United States, of course, has said it has been encouraging Israel to respect international law, but at the same time, it's been unconditionally giving weapons to Israel to continue its campaign of war crimes in Gaza. So the United States has not been sufficiently serious and hasn't pulled all of the levers it has to encourage Israel to respect international law.
Ben Saul, it's good to get your insight into this. I'm sure we'll be unpicking it as the days progress. For the moment, thanks very much for joining us from The Hague.